Welcome to the rest stop here in this corner of the DC universe, as we will discuss the new series Stargirl. I am your host, the hijacker, and I'm hoping you could just sit back and relax and join me on this journey as we look at Jeff Johns' new series. Finally, Jeff Johns at the height of his creativity, creating Stargirl for the third and best time. Now, what's great about this series is that it's not really just Stargirl and Stripes or Stargirl and Stripe, but it's really the legacy of the Justice Society of America. And what's great about this series being on the DC Universe app is that it does the superhero show differently. CW has become really like a trope under the Berlanti universe of being more melodramatic than superheroic. And even though I love all our shows like The Flash and The Arrow, Supergirl, and all of that, they focus too much on Team Arrow, where we want to actually follow the hero of that show. Stargirl starts out as Least Stargirl and Stripe, but we know that she's eventually going to create a Team Stargirl and, getting us the Justice Society younger members to take on the Injustice Society. But what this show does, which I really enjoy, is they focus on what it is. It's a superhero show. It's about taking down the bad guys. So that means it's a superhero show, not with a big bad of the season, but a supervillain team that is hiding in plain sight in Blue Valley. So, all right. So what happens here is that the show opens up with a family coming into Blue Valley, a blended family, meaning like Pat Dugan was a member of the Justice Society, and we begin with an opening battle in Sylvester Pendleton's Starman's house, where they're attacked, where the Justice Society is attacked by the Injustice Society. Pat runs up to the house. He sees a wounded Ted Grant Wildcat on the ground. He does a lot of name drops for people who are new to this universe. And the house is ablazing with green flame, which is the green flame of the Green Lantern, Alan Scott's powers. Inside, the heroes are fighting the villains: Tigress, the Gambler, Icicle, and they're battling all over in shadow. But Starman is at the core of it. He's at the center, and Stripesy is his partner. And what happens is that Starman gets shot by Icicle with an icicle in the gut, dropping him, and Pat Stripesy gets him out of there. So so the Injustice Society come out onto the steps. We see a hint of Solomon Grundy as Icicle sends him off after their car, the Star Rocket Racer, and Grundy brings it down, so it crashes, and Pat still gets Starman out. And Starman tells him that he has to pass off the staff to someone who is deserving of it, who is righteous and good. And he's like, I will do my best. And he said, no, not you. Not you. Joe McHale is excellent in this little short role. Please bring him back for flashbacks or something. So fast forward 15 years later, and now Pat has a family. His wife, Barbara, has a daughter, Courtney, and everything, whose father had left about the same time, 15 years ago, and everything. They've only just met and married and everything and decided to move to Blue Valley. So their relationship is still fairly new. But as we discover, Pat's got all his materials like, hey, be careful with that box, that kind of thing when I'm moving in. Moves into the basement, and he has the JSA classified files. And if you're a comic book fan, you know all about that. But, so the Easter eggs and drops in the show is amazing for those who read the comics, but you don't have to have read the comics, because what's great about this show, the way it's put together, is it's a lot of mysteries, like who is this person and who is that person, especially hiding in plain sight. So with that bear in mind is that the staff has sentience. and it, reaches out to Courtney, and she's like, "Oh, what the hell is all of this?" And thankfully, Courtney is a gymnast. She is a judo fighter. She had all these skills as most young athletic girls have, and everything. And so before we move into the training sequence, let's go to the school. So Courtney is like your usual sullen 15-year-old teenager with a new dad. She's not happy with Pat. She gives him a hard time, and he even has a great son who's her stepbrother, Mike, who is a great kid. He's like got a switch. He's like in his own world and all that kind of stuff, but really funny. And Pat is just trying his best, to be a dad. And so we get that kind of like parallel of opposites right away. The school, and she's just like, I can't be bothered and stuff. That's her world. I can't be bothered. So she goes into like this high school and meets various characters, such as being placed at the losers table. And conveniently, the losers table are the kids who, if you know anything about the adverts or what's coming up, is that they were ones who are going to become the new Justice Society. So, we got like Rex Tyler, we got Yolanda Montez, and we got Beth Chapel and everything. So in that aspect is that obviously they're just kids. They don't have any aspirations for powers. So we don't know if their parents are involved in anything. We don't. But I love it how they set all of this stuff up, you know. So anyway, so that's the people in school. Then there's also Bully, the bad guy, Henry King Jr., who his dad calls him Junior because he is Brainwave, and Brainwave, had a son in common, Brainwave Jr. So, you know, um, so he's the one who's kind of like, the foil for Yolanda as well. Like he indicates that she has some pictures and everything like that. But Courtney, being the hero inside, is quick to defend. She's like, hey, I'm not going for this. So something's wrong with this school in this town, So we get to see all these different characters introduced in their civilian identities, which we're going to find out later that they are actually hiding in these identities because they are the members of the Injustice Society. So I love that, like Pat meets like this local sports guy who runs the gym. And the principal is kind of like, you sit over there, and she got an attitude, but she's kind of wild, like a little tinger. But and then at mom's job, she meets Stephen Sharp, who, has a goatee, like the gambler. So it's kind of like, oh, well, okay, I see what's going on. We're gonna have to figure out who people are each week. And I'm loving that, so it's not like having knowledge of the comics is needed, but I feel like with this show, it's good that you have somebody who's able to let what's going on, so that the villains are hiding in plain sight, kind of like the way the Thunderbolts tried to do in the comics. And so this is going to be really interesting every week, you know. To try and discover who they are and what the master plan is for the American dream, or the new America, as they say. So what is that all about? We'll discover as we go along. So Courtney's got the staff, and she doesn't have the costume yet, but like she goes out to practice with it, and she confronts the bullies at a local drive-in and everything, and the staff blows up the car, not Courtney. She blows up Henry King's car and stuff like that. And she's like, what's going on? But hey, but now Brainwave finds out. He's like, wait a minute, what, a staff, some girl, you know so now he goes out hunting for her, kind of like he finds her ID badge, burned up. So it doesn't really have her name on it. So that's a mystery that he will have to end up trying to solve. But she ends up facing off against him because she actually, does the whole montage of making a costume in the local home ec and everything. It's hard to cut up, but she manages to make a pretty good outfit. If you wanted some reality, it should have some jagged edges into it, but no, she creates a perfect job and everything. And so she goes out to face off against this. Well, she doesn't even know she's facing off against this threat because she just goes out again. And Brainwave was kind of like set a trap. You know, he has mental telekinesis as well as he read minds and everything. And you know, and so they have a fight at the tire factory and everything. And what's great again about this being on the DC universe is that she gets bloody because when he knocks her down, she gets hurt. You know, so she got blood being from the head and everything like that. You know, not profusely, but I'm just saying that's good. You know, and so basically Pat shows up in the Stripe outfit, the big 18-foot robot. You're like, whoa. She's like, whoa, what's up? You know, and then it's kind of like, he's like, Gordy, stand down. You know, and it ends there, kind of like on a cliffhanger. So that's the first episode of Stargirl. I am the hijacker. Welcome to the journey. We'll take this stop right now and come back, you know, next time to dive into episode 2. So thank you for joining us here at the rest stop on the DC highway and on the digital highway of the DC universe. Thank you very much.